What will help us deliver net zero carbon faster? That's a good question.
The biggest challenge in getting to net zero carbon, I think, for me, is education.
The biggest challenge, overriding everything, is the lack of urgency, the lack of decisiveness, and the disparity, I think, between sort of the general sort of political vision and rhetoric and what we're doing on the ground.
We're not currently acting fast enough to limit warming to below 2 degrees, let alone to below the target 1.5 degrees. So we need to really come together in the industry very quickly to overcome that.
Biggest challenge in my view is taking net zero carbon design and build and actually making that net zero carbon in operation, in use.
Well, by far the biggest challenge is the existing building stock, because probably over 80% of the buildings that are currently built will still be here in 2050. And to get those down to net zero carbon is far more difficult than the new buildings that we're building now.
The challenge of retrofitting technologies and interventions to get those buildings, that estate, down to a operational net zero carbon position. It's a real challenge.
We need people to think differently. If you do the same kind of projects, you'll have the same kind of results. We need skill at all levels, not just at the design level, but the knowledge and the awareness of the people who procure buildings, but also the people who deliver them. We haven't got time to wait.
Where I'm seeing the greatest drivers for net zero carbon, I would say, at the moment it seems through the market, and it's funders putting pressure on developers.
It's unacceptable to be delivering buildings or to developing the built environment in a way that isn't pushing that boundary and trying to achieve net zero carbon.
I think users of space are becoming much more savvy or aware of the buildings in which they work or in which they live.
Actually, it's our customers, our occupiers are demanding it now, which for me gives me a lot of confidence that we'll be able to solve these issues.
At the moment, we're not seeing a huge degree of rates and taxes that support the drive to net zero carbon, as we have seen with the motor car industry. For example, you pay more tax for a high polluting vehicle, less tax for a lower polluting vehicle. That regime hasn't been applied to buildings yet, and it should be.
It's about legislation, it's about regulation. And you'll get people who'll go, oh no, how do we meet those standards? But we already meet standards, we meet building reg standards, and every couple of years they upgrade and get more stringent, and somehow we adapt, we make it happen. The key thing is that everyone has to do that, and if everyone has to do it, we find a way. We're quite ingenious, the human race. We'll find a solution if we have to, if you make us do it. So I think that's the key, really.